So the PlayStation Portal is an interesting device. When it first came out, I did pick one up to check it out for the channel because I genuinely do enjoy handheld gaming. And honestly, I didn't hate it. You know, it was kind of a little bit of a weird experience at first, but generally speaking, PlayStation streaming stuff tends to work better for me than Xbox streaming stuff, which makes really no sort of sense. I like the little ergonomic grips on the console that it had, and of course the screen on it was very nice. Now I don't play my PlayStation 5 nearly as much as I should, and this quickly started gathering dust as Sony just kind of seemed to be forgetting about it. They kind of tend to do things like that with things like the PSVR 2. Something I spent a lot of money on that has been also collecting dust, and it seemed like Sony was kind of just moving on from the Portal. What you see is what you get, and, you know, we'll move on to something else. That was until yesterday. PlayStation announced a massive update to the PlayStation Portal, giving it access to literally thousands of games now via cloud streaming, along with some other additional upgrades. And I think the more that you look into this update, the more interesting it really gets, because you can actually play thousands of PlayStation 5 games without owning a PlayStation 5. You just need the Portal and a PlayStation Premium membership account. So I want to talk about all of this stuff with you guys, show you some of the positives, show you some of the negatives of it, and see maybe if the PlayStation Portal becomes more attractive to you now with this latest update. First time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. So this update, I'm filming this on the 5th. It's not going up until later tonight, so I won't actually be able to check this out hands-on. I still do have the top tier PlayStation Plus premium membership because it hasn't lapsed yet, and I went ahead and paid for it, you know, it was before the price increase that they auto-renewed my 1 year, so I will be able to check this out. But cloud streaming officially arrives on PlayStation Portal today with new support for digital PS5 games in your library. And that's where things get very interesting. But let's get to the first part first. Jeez, I can't talk. So they, of course, blah, blah, blah. We've done some enhanced Wi-Fi support. We did a cloud streaming beta, blah, blah, blah. If you have PlayStation Plus Premium, that's a tongue twister, man. You can now have cloud streaming for PS5 games. And it's basically cloud streaming for PS5 games in your library. PlayStation Plus Premium members can now stream select digital PlayStation 5 games from their own library. At launch, thousands of PS5 games support cloud streaming, including blockbusters such as Astrobot, Borderlands 4, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I was looking at Resident Evil 4 down here. Grand Theft Auto 5, Ghost of Yotei, Fortnite. In addition, hundreds of compatible games from the PlayStation Plus game catalog and classics catalog, including Cyberpunk 2077, God of War Ragnarok, Hogwarts Legacy, Sword of the Sea, and The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered are also streamable directly from the cloud. So very cool stuff here, and we're going to take a look at the games list in just a moment, but I do want to read and show you guys some of the new UI and stuff that they have going on here. So cloud streaming unlocks new ways to play. Enjoy a game side by side with a friend who's using your PS5 under a separate account, or stream your favorite game while someone else watches a movie on the console. Cloud streaming also makes it easier to enjoy PS5 games on the go, at a hotel, cafe, friend's place, or anywhere else with a high-speed Wi-Fi internet connection. Since you can keep playing even when your PS5 console back home is powered off or is used by another account. So then they show off the streaming games in your library that you will have access to. It is a refreshed home screen. There's remote play, cloud streaming, and search. So you can remote play like you can do now, in which you use your PS5 in your house on your Wi-Fi connection, and then you don't need to have a PlayStation Plus membership in order to do that. Cloud streaming for PlayStation Plus Premium members, and then a search screen as well. And I think the new interface, I mean, it looks pretty clean, all things considered. It looks nice. It looks like a PS5 kind of does, but, very cool. You can see the streaming games in your library, and you can see the streaming games on PlayStation Plus. So that way, you could see store games, and then you can connect to your living room and stuff like that, all that sort of stuff. They've also added in some additional remote play features and stuff like that, 3D audio support, passcode lock, network status screen. If you're into that, you can. Danny Lowton Michaels now can put a little password lock on here. You could see cloud streaming, and you can put your password on there. Here's something interesting, though. In-game store. In-game purchases are now supported during cloud streaming. You can purchase add-on items and in-game currencies without leaving your current game session and receive benefits instantly. So that's kind of neat. That's a nice little thing. Accessibility options, game invitations, blah, blah, blah. We're thrilled to have cloud streaming and these new features to the PlayStation Portal. We'll keep working to expand in ways that you can enjoy your PS5 library. So, I find this interesting for a multitude of reasons. Let's talk about the negative with it. First and foremost, the negative is you have to have the PlayStation Plus premium account. And I think that's a little bit shitty. Like, this is something that people are buying, maybe not the lowest tier thing, but at least like the middle tier and the high tier, because the portal isn't free. You do have to buy the PlayStation Portal in order to use this device. So I do find that interesting that like it's just kind of like, whatever, like we're not gonna allow you to access this unless you are paying us a lot of money. And I do think that is a major drawback. Now when you look at the game library, you might think it's just all crap, but it's definitely not. Like, we're talking. Okay, why are we so zoomed out here? Let's zoom in a little bit, please. Thank you. You could see here that, like, it's newer titles, Stalker 2, like, I don't even think that's out yet. Octopath is not out yet. And you could, like, it sorts by latest releases and stuff like that. So, there's obviously going to be quite a few smaller games involved in here. But, Outer Worlds 2, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD, Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, like, you're actually getting, like, games that you would want to play on this. So, I think that's very cool. But here's one thing that, like, I don't think people are actually putting two and two together with. You could buy these if you have a PlayStation Plus premium account, and it would now, granted, it would be kind of weird to do this, but you can do this. If you have a PlayStation Plus premium account, you can buy games for that account. Not on a PlayStation 5. You could do it on your mobile device. You could do it on a computer. And then those games will be added into your library of owned games. And then, pending that the game is available on this cloud streaming service, which it seems like it's going to be constantly updated, you can then play that game via cloud streaming on the PlayStation Portal. So let me break that down just a little bit more, because I know initially it sounds a little bit confusing. Not saying that you're dumb or anything, but I'm the dumb one here. I'm not great at explaining things. So if I purchase Ninja Gaiden 4, I want to purchase Ninja Gaiden 4. I could purchase Ninja Gaiden 4 right now on this website, and then I'll be able to buy this game. And then this game will be eligible for cloud streaming pending I have the membership, okay? And then I can play a PlayStation 5 game on my PlayStation Portal without owning a PlayStation 5. You don't need a PlayStation 5. Now, granted, yes, you're not playing the game natively, okay? I completely understand what you're saying. You're not playing the game natively, so you're contingent on a Wi-Fi connection, this, that, and the other. You're not wrong about that. I'm just saying that this is actually now an option, and I find it to be a very interesting option, especially when you're looking at what, Xbox has been doing, and, everything is an Xbox, this, that, and the other. There are some similarities now to kind of look at with the PlayStation Portal, because you could buy a PlayStation Portal. Did it go up in price? I need to look up how much it is. Let me check real quick here. Can I buy one directly from PlayStation? I don't think you can. No. All right. Let me do some reconnaissance work here. PlayStation Portal. Okay, so no, they're still $200. You can get open box ones for 100, and you can get used ones for $160. So let's say $200 maximum. Then you get the PlayStation Plus Premium membership, which is like, I think it's $140 a year. And then you purchase the games at, which, I mean, you would have to do anyways on a PlayStation 5. That might be interesting to some people. People that are always connected to a Wi-Fi connection, who like handheld gaming, who don't really play much at home. Like, obviously, it's a very niche audience, but it is PlayStation kind of dipping their toe a little bit into something like everything is a PlayStation. I'm just saying, if Nintendo had a way to play games without owning their own console, it would be a big talking point. It used to be a big talking point for Xbox, but they have completely negated that talking point because they've just made it normal for them. But I find this to be very interesting, very, very interesting with PlayStation now, because this is kind of a bit of a different move. It's kind of a little bit something different. Now, obviously, if you're playing multiplayer games and crap like that, it's going to be lost on you. But like, will this game be supported? You can play Requiem via the cloud, and it works a lot better than it does on the Nintendo Switch original when they had those cloud versions. Jesus Christ, those things were horrible. But I don't know. I find this to be very interesting. I think it's a nice update. Obviously, the price block of putting it behind premium is not very good. I think they might potentially change that on down the road. But it's interesting, man. It's interesting. And just looking, once again, not just looking at it surface level, but looking at the bigger picture, the things you can actually do now with it. There's been talks about cross-buy. Some rumors have popped up that PlayStation could be embracing cross-buy between PS5 and PC versions of games. They might be doing their own launcher because of what Xbox is doing. I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas. But let me know in the comments section, what do you think about this update for the PlayStation Portal? Does this make it more attractive to you? Like I said, you can pick one up for $200 and then get your yearly membership to PlayStation Plus Premium. And if you like, just playing games on a handheld, it's a pretty good handheld, at the end of the day. But then, you can always do Steam Deck and stuff like that. But you are missing out on PlayStation 5 exclusives, even though they've kind of been, very dry in that sort of aspect. But if you want to play Ghost of Yotei, that's the way to do it. You want to play Astrobot, that's the way to do it. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. I am a PlayStation YouTuber. Well, from time to time. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.